Hare Krishna. Summary of Canto 3, Chapter 23. Devahuti's Lamentation. After her parents departed, Devahuti pleased Kardama Muni by serving him constantly. Devahuti was endowed with wonderful qualities. She was very chaste, she was understanding the desires of her husband, she had great love, intimacy, purity of mind and body, great respect, sense control, love, sweet words, and she had given up all lust, pride, envy, greed, sinful activities, and vanity. She was working very diligently to serve her husband. Having served him for a very long time, Devahuti grew very weak and emaciated. She expected blessings from her husband, and seeing her condition, Kardama was overcome with compassion and he began to speak to her. He told her, I am pleased with you because you have served me without caring for your own body, which is actually the most dear to everyone. All the blessings that I have attained from the Lord through the austerity and meditation that I have done in Krishna consciousness, which is free from fear and lamentation, I will offer them to you. What is the use of enjoyments? Only the Lord's grace is ultimately important. All material achievements are destroyed by the movement of the Lord's eyebrows. By devotion to your husband, you have achieved this rare transcendental gift which is very difficult to obtain for others. Upon hearing her husband, innocent Devahuti was very satisfied, and with a bashful glance, she began to reply to her husband with a choked voice. She told him, you have achieved all this perfection since you are the master of infallible mystic powers. So please fulfill the promise of giving me children, because bearing children through the husband is a praiseworthy quality of a chaste woman. Make my emaciated body fit for you to unite and arrange a suitable house for it. When Devahuti said this, desiring to please his wife, Kardama Prajapati created an aerial mansion that could travel at his will. The aerial mansion was bedecked with all sorts of jewels that can yield whatever one desired. It was adorned with pillars of precious stones increasing in wealth. It was decorated with flags, festoons, and artistic work of variegated colors and had all the necessary paraphernalia. It was embellished with wreaths of charming flowers that attracted sweet humming bees, which was pleasing in all seasons. It was decorated with beds, couches, fans, and seats, and these were all arranged in 7 stories. It, the entire aerial mansion was artistic. It was filled with artistic engravings on the walls. The floors were of emerald. Coral thresholds were placed at the entrances. Doors were bedecked with diamonds. Gold pinnacles crowned its domes of sapphire. Choicest rubies were set on the diamond walls that looked like as if the door had eyes. There were wonderful canopies of valuable gates of gold, live swans and pigeons, artificial swans and pigeons decorated the entire garden. Real swans, thinking of the artificial ones to be live like them, were trying to fly over them. Pleasure grounds, resting chambers, bedrooms, inner and outer courtyards were all appearing very beautiful, and Kardama himself was astonished to see all of that. Even after seeing this beautiful airplane, Devahuti was not very pleased because her body was still emaciated and dirty, and she did not have anyone to help her. So, understanding this, Kardama told her, go and take bath in this desire fulfilling lake called as Bindu Sarovar that was created by Lord Vishnu himself, and mount this airplane. Devahuti entered the lake with her matted hair and emaciated body and dirty clothes and discolored breasts. In a house inside the lake, she saw thousands of young girls, fragrant like lotuses. They went to her with folded hands and they told her, we are your servants. What can we do for you? The girls then bathed Devahuti with valuable oils and ointments and gave her a new cloth, excellent jewels, good food, and sweet drink called as asavam. In a mirror, Devahuti saw cleaned, well-dressed, garlanded, decorated body with a tilaka. She was fully bathed and she was decorated with all ornaments. She was wearing special necklaces, bangles, golden anklets, and a girdle and auspicious substances. Her face shone with beautiful teeth, charming eyes, eyebrows, and locks of hair. When she remembered her husband, she immediately got transported to the place along with the maidservants. She was amazed looking at his yogic power. Seeing Devabhukti again, her original beauty as a princess, Kardama, with increased fondness, placed her on the aerial mansion. Though seemingly attached, the sage did not lose the glory of him being a self-controlled person. In the aerial mansion, he was served by everyone, and he looked like a moon surrounded by many stars. Using that aerial mansion, they visited the pleasure valleys of Mount Meru and other celestial gardens like Vaishrambika, Surasana, Nandana, Pushpabhadraka, and Chitrarathya, Manasa Sarovara Lake, and so many other places, and enjoyed there for a very long time. Traveling like air to other planets in that great aerial mansion which could fly at his will, Kardama surpassed even the demigods. What is difficult to achieve for a person who has taken shelter at the lotus feet of the Lord, who can destroy all sorts of misfortune? Kardama achieved such yogic powers because of his being a devotee and not because of his proficiency in yoga. After showing the globe of the universe and its variegated features full of many wonders to Devahuti, Kardama returned to his ashram. He divided himself into 9 personalities, and delighting with Devahuti, Kardama enjoyed for many years that passed just like a moment. Enjoying in the wonderful facilities of that aerial mansion, 100 autumns passed like a moment. Kardama, dividing himself into 9 forms, impregnated Devahuti with 9 discharges of semen. On the same day, she gave birth to 9 beautiful daughters. So, like this, Kardama fulfilled his promise of impregnating Devahuti. So, at this point in time, he wanted to leave home for his real concern of spiritual realization. He wanted to take leave of home. Seeing her husband about to leave home, Devahuti was pained in her heart, but still she smiled outwardly. She suppressed her tears and she spoke in a very slow yet charming accent. She said, "You have fulfilled all the promises, but you should give me a fearlessness too." Indirectly, she was asking him for a son. She told, "After you go to the forest, your daughters will find their own suitable husbands and go away. But who will give me solace? So much time has been passed by me uselessly in sense gratification, neglecting to cultivate knowledge of the Supreme Lord. Not knowing your greatness, I have associated with you while being attached to enjoyment. Still, you should bestow fearlessness unto me. Association of materialists done in ignorance is a cause of bondage, but association with devotees, even if performed in ignorance, leads one to liberation. He whose actions do not lead to dharma, and whose dharma doesn't lead to vairagya, and whose vairagya does not lead to the service of the Lord, Tirthapada Seva, is just like a living corpse. O my Lord, surely I have been solidly cheated by Maya. In spite of having obtained your association, which can even award liberation, I did not seek such liberation." This ends the summary of Canto 3, Chapter 23, The Lamentation of Devahuti. Hare Krishna.